out on the streets where, figuratively speaking, there was no raining on the parade of more than 7,000 runners this morning. Speaking literally, plenty of rain conditions, a consistent factor in the 47th Mercy Health Glass City Marathon. Toledo streets packed for a full marathon, half marathon, a relay race, and a 5K. The leaders made it to the finish line at the Glass Bowl in less than 3 hours. To meet our Brendan Carnes.
The 2024 Glass City Marathon here in a soggy, damp Glass Bowl. Record set in both the men's and women's side of the full marathon in 2023. But the rain, the heat, the humidity playing a role in keeping those records for at least one more year.
When I woke up this morning, there's rain on the ground, and I figured it was gonna be a cooler day. So I thought it might be a little more humid if it didn't rain anymore and dry up. But it turned out to be a pretty comfortable day. But it wasn't the fastest day out there, but it was a comfortable day.
You definitely have to factor it in. I definitely slowed down my pace strategy pretty early on, actually, because I just felt like the heat and the humidity was pretty high. About halfway through, it started raining, and I felt like the humidity dropped, so that was really helpful. And just dumping water, just being really mindful of my hydration, getting in my gels, and just trying not to overdo it.
It's just exciting. I didn't think I could do it at first, but I was running strong, and mile 10, I got into first, and it was just amazing. Yeah, good crowd support.
That is Sophia Afridi from Perrysburg bringing home the title in the women's half marathon.
You know, once I knew I had what it take to overcome them, I knew I was gonna make a pass with a vengeance, just to kind of make that mental moment too to continue on.
I felt so amazing last year when I finished, and this year I think tops it, even though I think I felt I was a little bit slower this year. Just winning was really just the coolest thing, so I'll definitely be coming back again.
All right, so no records broken in this year's edition, but plenty still accomplished by those that decided to brave the elements here in the 419. For BCSN, Brandon Carnes sending it back to a nice, dry, warm studio.
Thanks, Brendan. To the folks who stayed warm and dry all morning, Brad Woznicki and three-time Glass City Marathon winner Matt Folk. They join us now.
Well, from one year to the next, this year's Mercy Health Glass City Marathon did not come into the day with ideal conditions for any kind of record-breaking performances like we saw last year, but we did see some very strong performances.
Yeah, there were some really good performances. It was great to see a battle on both the men's side, and then a lot of changes in the leader, both the men and women's side today.
It was basically 30 degrees warmer, and the humidity much more of a factor in this year's race.
Yeah, we were a little concerned about it. With the humidity was a lot higher, the overall temperature was a lot higher, but luckily we had some rain come through and cool things off towards the end there.
And looking back at some of the great stories that we'll have from this year's race, we talk on the women's side in the half marathon. Sophia Afridi from Perrysburg wins the half marathon, and then you go to the marathon side, and Tevin Brown making his marathon debut. He's the 2015 St. John's grad, nearly brought home the title.
Yeah, he took the lead probably around 16, held it through 24, and even though he got past the end, he still fought through to the end to finish second overall today.
And talking about our winners today, we'll go first on the male side with Derek Stone. He led for the first 3 to 4 miles of this race. Then we didn't see Derek Stone again until we were past the 20-mile mark, and he came out, ran his race.
Yeah, he just locked into his pace, did what he had to do, and if that meant he was leading, he led. If that meant he had to hang back a little bit, then he hung back until it was his turn again.
And we talk about ultramarathoners and triathletes being such a big part of what we saw here this year, and Anna Maloris on the women's side was leading for about 18 miles of this race, only to be passed by Kathleen Lawrence from Toronto, and Kathleen Lawrence just left everything she had out there.
Yeah, she hung strong, ran her race plan the whole way, even though she was back early on, passed around mile 18, and then just held strong to the finish there.
Well, congratulations to all of the runners that competed this weekend in the 5K, the half marathon, and the marathon. Derek Stone wins the marathon on the men's side, while Kathleen Lawrence wins it on the women's side.